Well, Sam, just early thoughts, first few days, couple weeks of practice on what you got with your team.
Excited coach. I think first and foremost that this is year 3. Wow, how fast. But most importantly, when this year I look at this team, we put them together with a vision. And when you're early in the season, you're hungry to achieve that vision. And I'm excited about the success this team could have this year.
You go back to the thoughts of bringing Victoria on, and we've seen I think Ryan Howard was one of the first that we saw do it. I mean, what went into that process, and how excited are you to have her part of this whole thing?
Well, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, she's a connector in many ways. She's a connector with young people. All right, what great recruiting opportunities for me that when I call, they know that she's on staff. She's a great connector for my young women on the team that when we talk about playing for championships and getting to deep Final Four runs, she did that. All right, but she's also a great connector for life. She's a great person. All right, the first thing that always everybody told me was her nickname is the Queen. So listen, there's 2 queens that I know of, Beyonce and Coach V. So I'm fortunate to get one of them.
Hey, how did that initially start though? Like, did you reach out to her? Was she kind of always around? You kind of broached the subject. Like, how did it actually come together?
Well, I'm a good recruiter. I'm not, like I said, no dummy. I mean, she's on our banners. I've always been a big fan. This is one story I haven't shared. When I was at Louisville, I actually called and tried to recruit her. So we obviously didn't connect then, right? But it's funny how life works, and now we're able to connect now. So I just said, hey, listen, I know you're at a certain point in your career. She's got several more years, but eventually the ball will stop bouncing. And I told her, I see a rising star, right? And that's what I want for her is when I hired her is, one, give back to my young women, but just like people did for me and my mentors, let me give back to you. Because at one time, I'm going to eventually, and I got a lot of years ahead of me, stop coaching. And she'll be that next generation. She's going to be that next star, and I'm glad that she's able to come back to our alma mater and give back to these young women.
You pretty much have to speed up, what you're doing from a developmental process with your team and installation whenever you have all these new faces.
Right.
How has that process been? Just, bringing everybody in and trying to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun and a lot of gray hairs, all right? And where it's fun is because they're going to make mistakes, okay? They're new, all right? But I told them we got to fail fast. And when we fail fast, we got to learn quick. So we're trying to put them in as many situations to get there because we got to figure out who's going to make that shot. Who's going to be my defensive stop? All right, what player are we going to run when we need it that we've got to execute in order to win that game? And with only 3 returners, we've got to learn a lot of that in practice so we can be ready for a serious opening game here at home against Memphis to start the season.
How do you think this roster kind of compares to the other few that you've had here from a talent perspective?
Ooh, that's a loaded question, right? Because I haven't seen them. But as far as athleticism, we're scary. I mean, we are fast. We can get after it on the offense and defensive end. And I would say for this group, as where we're at in the season, this chemistry is probably the best of the other 2 groups. And that's talking about 2 teams that won 20-plus games. They cook together. They hang out together. They love being around each other. Let's just hope they love being together on the floor when the lights come on.
You talked about only having a couple returners. Obviously, last season didn't end the way you wanted to. They talked about having a bad taste in their mouth. Is that something you've seen driving them through the offseason?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It especially starts with me as the coach. I'm disappointed, right? I'm upset, all right? That was a team that could have made the NCAA tournament. We didn't, but guess what? It starts with me as the head coach. And that's what part of the hashtag is own it. Own what happened. We can't cry about it. We got to build from it. And then we got to own with what comes on today's climate with the transfer portal, adding Texas and Oklahoma. It is what it is. So if we could be a tough unit and a tough fist, I like our chances this year.
With Fred's background, obviously at Washington with Kelsey Plum and those teams there, offensively, it seems like that's a big part of what he adds. How big of a piece is he going to be for the offensive side this year?
Oh, he's huge. He's got a bright mind. He's sharp. He's passionate. But most importantly, he's a great teacher. So to your point and your question, that's what separates him from other coaches across the country. It's his ability to teach the game where players understand. And when they understand what their role is, then you're able to execute and you're able to put up points night in and night out.
Where have you seen Jacayla grow the most this offseason?
Ooh, that's a lot of areas. I just say a person. Again, you got to understand, she is Mississippi State. And a time and an era in today's college athletics when you can transfer at any time, multiple times. she didn't. All right, she's been through 3 head coaches, but she loves Mississippi State. She loves what this program is about. She got us to the NCAA tournament in year 1, and she's upset like I am about year 2. So instead of just running and try to go join a super loaded team, she went actively. She was one of the major recruiters for this group that we have for this team. She worked hard behind the scene because she wants to make sure that she leaves here by getting us to the NCAA tournament and doing big things.
Ronnie asked about Fred. I mean, with him and with Anita,
Yeah.
what's it like just having 2 assistant coaches on your staff who just were head coaches at other schools? You know, what do you feel like they bring and have to adjust in terms of now taking on a different role?
Yeah, so I'm gonna add Sam Williams to that too. So I've got 3 former head coaches. So automatically, I'm a better head coach, all right? Because now they understand what they can take off my plate. They understand how the small things are really big things. And then most importantly, again, there's a hunger and a desire that they've been in other places where our fan base is one of the best in the country. This environment and living in this town, they're thriving for us. So not only bringing a lot to our program, but I'm excited what they're going to bring to our community as well.
Where is Chandler in her rehab back from her Achilles?
Yeah, so she's practicing. She's looking better and better every single day. It's one of those things that I told her, get to November. We've talked about it. She's got to communicate with me because if I can get Kansas Chandler, who was about 11 to 12 points a game, watch out. Our team really got better, but I told her she can't help me win in March if she's not healthy and she can't play. So we've had a great relationship and an understanding, but as of today's date, I'm really excited of where she's at.
Final 2 questions. I know Poe's just a junior, but she's been here 2 years, so just talk about her leadership and what do you expect of her?
Yeah, Poe is another one. That's my day 1, right? When I got the job, I took the U-Haul. I didn't even unpack. I went straight to her house, all right? I knew how special she was, and she's special for a lot of ways. First of all, her player development, her growth. Her freshman year, she shot 30% from the 3-point line. Her sophomore year was close to 40%, which is top in the country. And then outside of that, you all see her in media. All right, she's coming after your job. All right, she's doing sideline reporting. She is like Queen. All right, Coach V. She does everything off the court. She's a part of my leadership council. She's a leader for my team. The young lady's a winner, and there's no doubt 15 to 20 years from now, I want to see her on ESPN and doing big time things with sports. She's just got a special heart for this sport, and most importantly, people.
You started up your schedule. Assessment of yourself going into the season. How have you seen yourself learn and grow from year to year and recognizing what you need to get this program where it needs to be?
Yeah, I said the biggest thing is just experience, right? Again, I'm forever grateful for Mississippi State hiring a guy who never coached and having trust that, you know what can you do? How can you get this program back to its winning ways? And for me to come in, like I said, and give credit to the mentors that put me in place, but giving the keys to this car and actually do it, I'm thankful. And now in year 3, I know what to expect, right? My mentors told me, hey, be prepared for this, but after 2 years, I'm ready for what's to come with this job, and I couldn't be more happy about year 3.